Hey guys, welcome back to episode 76. My name is Michael McCarville, and we're starting a Lizard Head series, and we're going to talk about a project here at Lizard Head, Colorado. So this is part one, and kind of a historical overview and kind of a project overview, so what to expect in the videos in this series. So, Lizard Head, interesting name, I know. And in the color photo here, in the lower right, you can see that rock outcropping, that structure that sits straight up. That's Lizard Head. It shows up on the Rio Grande Southern logo, so you may recognize it from that, and you might go, "Oh yeah, that's where I've seen it before." Um, so Lizard Head is essentially a pass along the Rio Grande Southern. And if you go south from Ophir Loop and Trout Lake, but not quite to Rico, that's where it sits. The pass is 10,222 feet above sea level. It has 3% grades on either side, and it is not uncommon for the Rio Grande Southern, but it's uncommon for the Rio Grande Southern to have those grades at a 10,000 foot elevation pass. So that's pretty high. Obviously, a lot of winter activity, a lot of severe weather, a lot of snow, and that dictates kind of some of the stuff that we're going to see at this location. So let's talk about the structures that are at this location. So when you get that much snow and you have to get over a pass, cut off your helper engines and turn them around and send them back home, you're going to build a snow shed to cover some of the track. This area has a Y, so you can reverse the engines and turn them around and head them back to where they came from, because some of the engines will be used for helper service to get the train up over the pass. There's also a passing track here too. Now, what you see in the photo in the lower left is you can see that the snow shed is essentially from the steam engine number 42. It runs north from there all the way up to the yellow building, which happens to be the same building sitting in the black and white photo on the top, the section house sitting in front of the galloping goose. So why does the snow shed only appear in one of those photos as running all the way up the tracks? That's because it burned. So the single track that is the trains coming out of in the lower photo, that actually breaks into two tracks. So there's a passing siding that runs all the way along by the section house. And now you can see in the black and white photo, there's two tracks there because the one on the left is a passing siding. And they never rebuilt that section that burned. So, but in the lower photo, you can see how long it went. Now, that yellow building, what you see there to the right of it, that is the Y for reversing the engines. That's also underneath the snow shed, as is the other half of the main line and passing siding, which continues on to the north, but you can't see it because the whole snow shed, the leg towards us and the Y off to the side, that's all in the way, so we can't see it. But suffice it to say that it's much larger than what's in this one photo. So let's talk about some of the stuff that we get to build. There is obviously the snow shed. We can have a really good look at it. What we're looking at here is looking from the section house, depot/section house, to the north into the snow shed. And then that little building off to the right, that shed, that's actually a two-door hand car speeder shed that is used at this location too. So we have the two tracks on the Y, we have the snow shed, we have the depot or section house, whatever you want to call it, and then this handcar shed. In addition to that, there's two outhouses here. There's a bunk house behind that car shed. There is snow fences, and along the passing siding, there is places where they used, to pile up extra rail, extra ties. There's 5 switches in this area. And then the Y to the right, the tail of the Y actually had a sheep pen, and it was used to load sheep on the high plains, and they would load it into cattle cars, and then send them back downhill and off to the Denver and Rio Grande Western, and then they would take those off the market. So inside that sheep pen, there's also a structure in there, and I believe it's a barn. It's some sort of shelter. So at that location, there's that structure as well. So there's a lot of stuff for us to do, and we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to do the shed first. That's the first project, and we're going to start on that right away. The car shed, and we'll take a look at the section house and the bunk house and then some of the other stuff too. There's a lot of stuff to do here to model, even though it's kind of a remote location and there's really nothing here. There could be a lot of activity. Helper service up and down, helpers cutting off helper engines at the Y, turning everything around, navigating the snow sheds, cattle car service, maintenance stuff, and then of course the galloping geese are going to be coming up and over this in the later years too. So we're going to get a lot of variety, and it's on the main line of the Rio Grande Southern. So cool location, lots of projects. I'm looking forward to it, but that's it for kind of the overview. I want to thank the guys from the Cumbres and Toltec, the friends of Cumbres and Toltec, for allowing me to use these historical photos. Guys, I really appreciate it. If you guys are in the modeling and you want to research some of the stuff that you're looking at, either at this location or others, by all means, go to their site. I'm going to put all the information that I talk about down in the notes below, so check that stuff out. But I definitely appreciate you guys watching, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into to part 2, and we're going to do the section car shed right away. So that one should get uploaded here in probably another day or two. So I appreciate you guys watching. Check out the links below to the Facebook group, to the YouTube channel, and by all means, follow along with me as we start working on these structures.